Logical evening, everyone. So, you all are welcome to the live sectional mock analysis of legal reasoning. And I'm sure about one thing, that this legal reasoning test, at the very onset, let me clarify, was much tougher than any sample paper, or in that case, CLAT 2021 and 2020 as well. So, all those who are scoring low should not feel low, at least. So with the right kind of analysis and even score analysis, we'll begin the session as we always do. So again, to begin with, I'll tell faith and trust is the key. Get yourself positively charged, infuse a lot of hope, optimism in yourself, and let's keep going. This is the most important thing in life. You have to push yourself. Nobody's gonna do it for you. Yes, and the Gladiator series is on. So we have like Vidhigya India open mocks lined up, 2 CLAT and 1 AILET. So we are going to have more fun in the days to come, and this is the best way to prepare in the last days. Now, having the difficulty level of this legal reasoning sectional test 2264. In legal reasoning section, when we see, we get to understand that the difficulty level was high. With that clear, let me first tell you the overview of what the paper was like. We had in total 40 questions, and the area was, we had two judgment analysis as well. So one was that civil dispute being given a color of a criminal wrong. So that's one thing. And secondly, we had the second passage about the IAS rules. They being, there's a proposed amendment about that, wherein the say of state would be reduced. So it's kind of usurping domain and challenging the federal structure of the country. There was a cause of concern expressed. Going further, protection against self-incrimination. That was again an important one. Article 20, Clause 3. That was though easy. I'll call it easy. The last two were moderate. Then it is Allahabad High Court judgment on reciting azan. So this was again constitution and contemporary issue, and I'll call it moderate. Then this was infringement of trademark. If you see the last Gladiator series sectional analysis of 2262, there was a passage about passing off. So I believe any student who's preparing for CLAT should be clear that if it is intellectual property rights, you should have crystal clarity about compulsory licensing under law of patents. You have to have a very good understanding about trademark, the basics of trademark, the concept of infringement, and the concept of passing off. I mean, to say the least, I mean, this is required. So if you have attended that session well, then in that session, which was majorly about passing off, we have touched what infringement would mean. Then again, there's a judgment analysis about a Supreme Court judgment for quashing of FIR. Then it is Disha Ravi's arrest, more about contemporary issue and international concerns about sedition law. And then POCSO, online sexual abuse, we had a passage. So I'll call both of these moderate to easy in case of Disha Ravi, but I'll call it moderate when it is about POCSO. All right. Having this point clear, let's go ahead. If you ask me how much should have been the case, if a student in 35, 40, probably 40 for this one. So in 40 minutes, if you're able to do all 8, it's excellent. But if you were not, so you could have just left a passage for that matter, and out of 35 should have had higher accuracy. Otherwise, in my opinion, going for around 40 questions and giving yourself 40 minutes, the stellar performance, which I'll call, would be a score of 31 or more. That's a fantastic total on board. All right. Then a good performance would be 28. 28 seems like a good performance. A decent performance would be 24.5 out of 40 again. This kind of a score is a decent score. I mean, just decent score. I have already clarified that it is legal reasoning 2264 and this was difficult, right? So in that average performance, I'll call 22.5 out of 40 and anyone scoring 19 or less should improve. Now the question is, how do you gauge this mock? Look at the mock itself. Understand the competitiveness of the mock and then develop an understanding as to how do you get the first feeling about it. So in my opinion, it was difficult. I'll not call it moderate for the heck of it. It was difficult to be aced in 35 odd minutes. All right. So going ahead, as in almost all the sessions, I say that the skimming method that we use at Vidhigya is opposite. We need to look for these elements in the passage. The moment we get that, we should be, this is the way how to read actually, approaches to read. And then many times I've told that these are the things that you should be looking at in the passage. What you required, the most important thing is required is the right kind of sequencing, where to put legal. And I believe you required a focused mind to achieve a better performance in this section. Let's start with passage 1. Passage 1 is again a judgment of Supreme Court wherein the Supreme Court is clearing a fact that इस पूरे judgment के बारे में दो तीन चीजें पहले समझते हैं. First of all, what this judgment is about, and before understanding this judgment, in this judgment it is clarified that, and understand this well, that if any civil dispute is given the color of a criminal matter, is given a color of criminality, that is an abuse of process of law and that is the wrong thing to do. That means Supreme Court has clarified, अगर किसी civil dispute को civil dispute ना रखते हुए उसको किसी भी तरीके से एक criminal law Indian Penal Code के provision में ला करके एक offense बना दिया जाए, तो ऐसा करना court के process का abuse है and it's a practice that should be stopped. So that is what they were saying, one thing. Now the technical terms that if you know could have been better. The first one is section 482 of CRPC. मैं आपको सिर्फ जनरली बताता हूं, कई बार कई लोगों के अगेंस्ट में एक एफआईआर हो जाती है, कोई रजिस्टर करवा देता है ऑफेंस, बट टू मेक आउट दैट ऑफेंस उसमें इंग्रेडिएंट्स है नहीं. अब उस पर्सन के अगेंस्ट में क्या होता है क्रिमिनल लॉ का प्रोसेस? एफआईआर, इन्वेस्टिगेशन, चार्जशीट, फिर कोर्ट में ट्रायल. ट्रायल इज अ लॉन्ग प्रोसेस. ट्रायल में पहले प्रोसिक्यूशन का केस, उसके एविडेंसेस, उसके विटनेसेस, डिफेंस का अक्यूज का केस, उसके एविडेंसेस, उसके विटनेसेस, क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन एंड फाइनली व्हाट वी गेट इज वर्डिक्ट. और वर्डिक्ट के बाद अपील. अब क्वेश्चन है कि किसी के अगेंस्ट एक प्राइमा फेसा केस ही नहीं बनता. जो फैक्ट अक्यूज के अगेंस्ट में लेवल किए गए हैं उससे कोई केस, कोई क्राइम बनता ही नहीं है. तो फिर उसको वो ट्रायल के स्विंग में डाल के घुमाने का क्या मतलब? उसके अगेंस्ट में ट्रायल होना ही नहीं चाहिए. इसीलिए ये प्रोविजन है 482 सीआरपीसी में कि अगर हाई कोर्ट को अप्रोप्रिएट लगता है तो हाई कोर्ट ऐसे केस में एफआईआर की स्टेज पे ही, ट्रायल में जाने से पहले ही कंप्लेंट को क्वाश कर सकते हैं, सेट असाइड कर सकते हैं. एंड दिस पावर इज वेस्टेड इन हाई कोर्ट अंडर सेक्शन 482 सीआरपीसी. इंटरेस्टिंग बात क्या है इस केस में, इस सुप्रीम कोर्ट के केस में जो आपको पैसेज में दिया हुआ था, एक पर्सन का सिविल डिस्प्यूट चल रहा था दूसरे पर्सन के अगेंस्ट में और उस पर्सन ने इसके अगेंस्ट में एफआईआर लिखवा दी. अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला कि अगर सिविल डिस्प्यूट है तो सिविल कोर्ट रिजॉल्व करेंगे. उसको एक क्रिमिनल कलर दे देना और एक क्रिमिनल प्रोविजन में ले आना, ये प्रोसेस ऑफ कोर्ट का अब्यूज है एंड दिस शुड नॉट बी डन. सो ऐसे केस में अगर वो एफआईआर से कोई ऑफेंस नहीं बनता है तो उसकी ट्रायल हो, उसको जेल जाना पड़े, उसको बेल हो, ये लंबा प्रोसेस करने की जरूरत नहीं है. तुरंत ऐसे केस में एफआईआर को क्वाश कर देना चाहिए. चार्जशीट की स्टेज है तो उस पर क्वाश कर देना चाहिए, सेट असाइड कर देना चाहिए, उसे दोष मुक्त कर देना चाहिए. सो दैट इज व्हाट 482 मीन, दैट एट दिस स्टेज उसके अगेंस्ट ऑफेंस बनता ही नहीं है तो फिर उसकी काय को उसमें डालना, स्विंग ऑफ ट्रायल. सेकेंड थिंग इज लिस्पेंडेंस. डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ लिस्पेंडेंस एक ट्रांसफर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी की एक डॉक्ट्रिन है, एक प्रिंसिपल है, जिसका साधारण शब्दों में अर्थ हुआ at any time if there is a pendency of litigation about a property, तो उसमें nothing new should be done. मतलब अगर किसी प्रॉपर्टी के ऊपर कोई केस चल रहा है तो जब तक केस की पेंडेंसी है, जब तक ये असर्टेन नहीं किया जा सकता कि किसके राइट्स हैं और किसके नहीं है, तब तक प्रॉपर्टी को बनते कोशिश वैसे ही रहने दो. उसको थर्ड पार्टी को बेच देना, उसको तोड़ देना, उसको बना लेना, this would frustrate the purpose of law, and therefore nothing new should be introduced during pendency of a litigation is what lispendence means. और सेक्शन 420 में आईपीसी में चीटिंग की पनिशमेंट है और 415 में उसकी डेफिनेशन है. इसमें जो डेफिनेशन में रेड पार्ट लगा हुआ है, दैट इज ऑलरेडी गिवन इन द पैसेज, सो आई एम श्योर यू वुड हैव रेड इट. So with this understanding, let's see the passage and then we'll go to the questions. Understanding the passage well, now the factual matrix says that Supreme Court ने बोला criminal proceedings कंटिन्यू करना उस इशू में जहां कोई केस नहीं बनता, वो प्रोसेस ऑफ अब्यूज, वो कोर्ट के प्रोसेस का अब्यूज है, एंड दैट शुड नॉट बी डन. दैट मींस सिविल डिस्प्यूट शुड नॉट बी गिवन कलर ऑफ अ क्रिमिनल रॉन्ग, एंड क्रिमिनल प्रोसीडिंग्स का इनिशिएट अगर ऐसे केस में हो तो दैट इज अब्यूज ऑफ प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ. फर्दर ये पूरी कहानी लिखी है, दिस इज द फैक्चुअल मैट्रिक्स ऑफ द केस. ये समझ में आता है, एक सिविल केस था जिसमें ये डिटरमाइन होना था कि प्रॉपर्टी किसकी है. फिर आगे आके देखते हैं तो ये समझ में आता है कि डिक्लेरेटरी सूट, मतलब अभी ये डिक्लेरेटरी सूट मींस राइट्स एंड प्रॉपर्टी का ओनर कौन है इस केस में, उसको डिक्लेयर करने के लिए एक सूट था, ये पेंडिंग था. इसकी पेंडेंसी के टाइम पे किसी ने प्रॉपर्टी बेच दी, तो ये क्या हुआ, ये हुआ लिस पेंडेंस, कि जब प्रॉपर्टी जिसके ऊपर डिस्प्यूट चल रहा है, जिसकी ओनरशिप पे ही क्वेश्चन है, पेंडेंसी है जब तक उसकी कोर्ट में, जब तक वो मैटर डिसाइड नहीं होता, उसके बीच में अगर आपने ऐसी प्रॉपर्टी बेच दी तो उसको क्रिमिनल कलर देने की बजाय सिविल लॉ में लिस पेंडेंस की तरह ट्रीट कर सकते हैं, ऐसा ट्रांसफर इनवैलिड होगा. सो दैट इज व्हाट द कोर्ट ओपाइंड कि ऐसे केस में ये सिविल लॉ का मैटर था, इसको क्रिमिनल कलर दे दिया विच इज रॉन्ग, और फिर चीटिंग की डेफिनेशन दी हुई है और ये बताया कि इस केस में जो अक्यूज्ड है, जो अपील कर रहा है अभी, उसके अगेंस्ट में कोई केस बनता ही नहीं है. चीटिंग का केस, चीटिंग के इंग्रेडिएंट्स बनते ही नहीं है. एंड फर्दर इट इज सेड दैट द एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ अ सेल डीड ड्यूरिंग पेंडेंसी ऑफ अ सूट में अट्रैक्ट डॉक्ट्रिन ऑफ लिस पेंडेंस, व्हिच आई हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन्ड. Nothing new should be introduced while litigation is pending. And in this case, what did Supreme Court do? Supreme Court ने उसके अगेंस्ट में जो चार्जशीट फाइल हो गई थी, एफआईआर हो गई, सबको क्वॉश किया और बोला जो सिविल कोर्ट में प्रोसीडिंग्स चल रही है, लेट देम कंटिन्यू. राइट. While allowing the appeal, the quashing of charge sheet, the bench said, insofar as appellant is concerned, 420 वगैरह वगैरह सारी बातें लिखी है, ये चीज पढ़ने वाली. So I hope everybody there, please be very responsive. I hope you got the story correct. What was this law trying to say? वो सिंपल बात थी कि प्रॉपर्टी का डिस्प्यूट दो लोगों के बीच में, तो वो सिविल डिस्प्यूट है, उसे सिविल कोर्ट डिसाइड करेंगी. अगर दो लोगों के बीच में ओनरशिप का डिस्प्यूट है, तब तक किसी ने प्रॉपर्टी बेच दी, तो ये सिविल डिस्प्यूट है. इसको क्रिमिनल कलर देके उसके अगेंस्ट में क्रिमिनल प्रोसीडिंग्स इनिशिएट करा के, एफआईआर करा के आप कोर्ट के प्रोसेस को अब्यूज कर रहे हैं, विच शुड नॉट बी डन. ऐसा कभी किया तो उस टाइम इस केस में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऐसी पिटिशन को अलाउ किया और उसके अगेंस्ट जो एक गलत क्रिमिनल प्रोसीडिंग्स इनिशिएट हो गई उसे क्वॉश कर दिया. इफ दैट इज क्लियर, वी आर रेडी टू गो, वी आर रेडी टू मूव ऑन. Great going done. So let's see with the questions then. I'm sure this was taking some toll on you. So let's see with this one. Question number one, quickly we see. Now please be very prompt on the answers. Question number one, quickly we see. You get to understand this entire story. And this entire story, you know, विधान की ग्रोसरी शॉप से लेके सेलिंग ऑफ द बिस्किट, we could make out that offense which is defined under 415 and punished under 420, उसके ingredients are not made out. चीटिंग नहीं हुई है. Or more fully, Vidhan in this case was the owner of a grocery shop. So if cheating is not done, the answer is B, Bombay. All right. Cockroaches out. Moving ahead. Going next. Question 2. The reasoning is very correct. Going next. Question number 2. All right. Vidhan, who is a bank manager, promised his friend And the question is, in this entire story, there was a joking and kidding going on between friends. Now, in this case, the question is about cheating. चीटिंग द डेफिनेशन रिक्वायर्स कि एक पर्सन को डिसेप्शन से इंड्यूस करते हैं कि अपनी प्रॉपर्टी या कोई वैल्यूएबल चीज वो अपनी किसी और को दे दे, तो ऐसा तो कुछ हुआ ही नहीं इस केस में. एंड सिंस इट इज नथिंग ऑफ दैट काइंड, वी कैन क्लियरली मेक आउट दैट इट इज नॉट चीटिंग. इन नो वी हैव थ्री ऑप्शन 1, 2 and 3. So when we talk about question number 2, this is extraneous, and this is the valid answer. D, Delhi is the answer. People marking B and C, they're absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. B and C. All right. Let's go to question number 3 then. I hope the reasoning is clear. Yeah, cheating का ingredient जो defined है, that is not made out. I hope it's clear. I think we should go ahead. And I am knowing that today the paper was a bit tough. So I'm asking with every question. If you're understanding, we'll go ahead. Great going. So I think we should move on to the third one. The third question is again about cheating. क्या cheating की definition में आ रहा? Now look at the passage. The passage was so complex. लेकिन first three things are asking about that small definition. So it's good to make out. You could have scored well. You just have to understand cheating. Now when I talk about cheating in this case, here it is written Vidhi lies about the date of purchase of car and number of times it has been serviced, and then he sells, then she sells. Now in this case what she has done, she has the offense of cheating is made out. Okay, so when we look at question number 3, the answer is either B, because I'll read 4 but I am very convicted कि cheating तो हो गई. तो मैं पहले I'll see with this, दो A B C D all I can see, I should see, यही तरीका भी होता है. पहले वाले में देखता हूँ it is not made out. No delivery of property तो हुआ ही है. Yes, because there have been a delivery of property is making sense to me. It might be right. No, because Vidhan has duty to undertake due, not at all. Yes, because Vidhi has a duty to answer correctly, not at all. It's B, Bombay, as per the passage. I know I'm going a bit quicker in discussion. I'm not reading questions out because it's going to be a monotonous exercise since you already have PDFs in your hand. So I'm just trying to point out what should be the kind of reasoning you should adopt to answer the questions right. All right. So going ahead with the next question, number 4 on your screen. Now, this is where you need to have the holistic understanding of the passage. First 3 questions were specifically about the offense of cheating, but 4th and 5th are brain churners. They would require you to dig deep down, So looking at this, which of the following cannot be inferred? So cannot stands clear from the passage. In order to constitute an offense under 420, the property should be immovable. Now this is technically this cannot be inferred because whoever delivers property or property की बात में immovable है, this cannot be under 415, 420, this cannot be done. Civil dispute cannot be charged and tried under Indian Penal Code. This can be inferred. This is what passage is all about. Appeal against the order of dismissal by High Court can lie in Supreme Court. This can be inferred. Execution of sale deed during pendency of suit does not constitute a criminal offense. Again, these 3 things can be inferred. A cannot be inferred. People marking 4, answer A is fantastically right. Going ahead. I hope अगर reasoning समझ में आ रही तो give me a thumbs up if you're able to understand, right? Going ahead, let's go to question number 5. Which of the following cannot be inferred? Now the question is, which of the following cannot be inferred from the paragraph? Number 1, the Supreme Court has powers to quash the criminal proceeding. This exactly has happened, so this can be inferred. The charge sheet is required to be submitted to the court before the investigation. This can be inferred. Hold on, the charge sheet is required to be this was nowhere in the passage. I'll wait, I'll read more in this question. I want to understand. The High Court can quash proceedings. The High Court, when civil dispute is being presented in the way, yes. This is what Supreme Court has said. And this is why Supreme Court has overruled the erroneous decision by High Court. This person, the appellant to Supreme Court, has first reached High Court and High Court has dismissed his petition, and this is why he comes to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court clarifies if a civil dispute is given a criminal color, in such case such a petition is allowed and it cannot be done and such FIR should be quashed. So this can be inferred. Then FIR and charge sheet must contain essential ingredients of the offense alleged. Yes. So in my opinion, B, Bombay stands the safe answer. C is incorrect. People marking C are absolutely wrong. Let's go to, yes, B, Bombay is the answer. Let's go to question number 6. Which of the following statements can be drawn from the information provided in the passage? Now, this one, children, let's look at this one and answer me. What was the idea? Under IPC, a person is dishonestly induced to deliver property to any person. The offense of cheating is made out? Yes. The Supreme Court opines that its abuse of judicial process, where civil dispute is sought to be given color of criminal wrong doing and vice versa. People might have opinion, yes, but the only problem comes when this suffix is added. मतलब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये बोला कि अगर सिविल डिस्प्यूट को क्रिमिनल कलर देके क्रिमिनलिटी इंपोज करके कोई क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस में बुक करेंगे तो ऐसा गलत है, पर उसका उल्टा नहीं बोला कि अगर किसी क्रिमिनल डिस्प्यूट को सिविल डिस्प्यूट बना दिया जाए. सो anybody who's understanding this vice versa word well could have made out कि जैसे ये vice versa हुआ यहां तक it was yes, and the moment end vice versa the answer becomes no. Only statement 1 is correct, which is why our answer should be A, Agra. I hope the first passage stands done. Reasoning समझ में आई बेटा? बेटा रीजनिंग समझ में आई तो आगे चले. All well. Let's go into the passage 2. Now, passage 2 is interesting. Passage 2 में बात हो रही है, and again, you know, these are hand-picked passages, brain churners, the passages which usually would, you know, churn your mind. The Union government has recently proposed amendments to IAS Cadre Rules of 1954. कुल मिला के आपको बेसिक बात इससे पढ़ने से पहले ये मालूम होनी चाहिए, यूनियन पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन इज अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी एंड जो भी यूपीएससी में अपॉइंटमेंट्स होते हैं दे आर डन बाय द प्रेसिडेंट and under the aegis of central government. These people, those who are bureaucrats, IAS, IPS officers qualifying UPSC, basically are employees to central government, but they are deputed in state government to work out there. Now, this passage is about the federal structure of our country. Federal structure means state or center के बीच में relation. So quasi federal and all we have already discussed, so on and so forth. So I'll not be going into that. Now, यहां पे बात हो रही है कि इसका एक ब्रॉडर आइडिया बताता हूं, देन वील सी द पैसेज. ब्रॉडर आइडिया ये है कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट रूल्स चेंज करना चाहती है. अभी के जो एग्जिस्टिंग रूल्स हैं उसमें ये रिक्वायरमेंट है कि अगर कोई भी आईएएस ऑफिसर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से वापस सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट अपने पास लेना चाहती है डेप्यूटेशन पे, तो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की कंसेंट जरूरी है. स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से पूछना जरूरी है. अपनी मर्जी से वो सेंटर गवर्नमेंट स्टेट के एम्प्लॉय को नहीं ले सकती. स्टेट मतलब स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में डेप्यूटेड आईएएस ऑफिसर को नहीं ले सकती. अब टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस वेल, अगर ऐसा हो रहा है तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इज सेइंग हमारे पास ऑफिसर्स की डर्थ है और वो नंबर पूरा करने के लिए विल हैव टू डू दिस. तो इसके लिए दे आर प्रपोजिंग एन अमेंडमेंट जहां पे स्टेट का से खत्म हो जाए. स्टेट का से खत्म हो जाए कि कभी भी वो चाहे तो उठा सके एक एम्प्लॉय को और अपने पास रख सके. अगर स्टेट का से खत्म हो जाता है तो द ऑथर सेज दैट देयर इज अ प्रोबेबिलिटी वेयर सेंटर इज ट्राइंग टू ओवर रीच. दे आर ट्राइंग टू अजर्व द डोमेन ऑफ स्टेट. दे आर ट्राइंग टू डू समथिंग वेयर द फेडरलिज्म इटसेल्फ विल बी एट क्वेश्चन. स्टेट की पावर खत्म कर दी, जो स्टेट में डेप्यूटेड ऑफिसर है उसको अपने पास उठा के रख लेना, ऐसी प्रैक्टिस फेडरलिज्म के प्रिंसिपल के अगेंस्ट है. So this is all the idea about this, but for our understanding, let's go into the depth of it and understand. Now they're saying that in this rule amendments are required. Now the question is, the author says कि Indian federalism में जो अब आपको यहाँ no, you know, we have already discussed these words, so I'll not go into explaining what centripetal and what quasi federal is. And trust me, if you don't know even these words, it's okay. Now let's see. Firstly, there is a breach of centripetal federalism which is specific to constitutional provisions on civil service. सीधी सीधी बात है, सेंट्रीपीटल फेडरलिज्म एक प्रिंसिपल है जो सिविल सर्विसेज में फॉलो होता है. एंड देन क्वाज़ाई फेडरलिज्म जो बाकी पार्ट है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, वो भी ऐसी कुछ अमेंडमेंट लाने से अफेक्ट होता है. सो दैट इज इट. नाउ देयर इज अ लॉ गिवन. और उसमें बताया कि रिक्रूटमेंट प्रेसिडेंट के नेम में होता है और ये सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की एजेंसी है जो डीओपीटी वो काम करती है। फिर उसमें लिखा है यूनियन गवर्नमेंट का से कब तक। अब सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशन देखो, जो अभी एग्जिस्टिंग लॉ है उसमें यूनियन गवर्नमेंट का से कब तक है। यूनियन गवर्नमेंट का से तब तक है जब वो अपॉइंट एग्जाम कराएं, अपॉइंट करें, ट्रेनिंग करें, ट्रेनिंग देने के बाद उसको पर्टिकुलर स्टेट का कार्डर एलोकेट कर दें, तभी तक सेंटर का काम है। और दूसरा सेंटर का काम कब आता है, जब उनके करियर्स खत्म कर रहे हो, टू रिमूव देम। दैट मीन सेंटर विल हैव से ए इन रिमूविंग देम एंड बी अपॉइंटमेंट से लेके स्टेट में भेजने तक। हाउएवर द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट फेसेस वन सिग्निफिकेंट हैंडीकैप, द नंबर ऑफ। अब सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की प्रॉब्लम यह है, यूनियन गवर्नमेंट की प्रॉब्लम यह है कि उनके पास अगर ये रूल फॉलो करते हैं तो बहुत कम क्वांटिटी ऑफ ऑफिसर्स हैं, इनको भी ऑफिसर्स चाहिए आईएएस। इसके लिए उन्होंने एक स्कीम चालू की कि वो डर्थ, वो जो नंबर्स है वो कम हो जाएं, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड सेंट्रल स्टाफिंग स्कीम। अब सेंट्रल स्टाफिंग स्कीम में उनने एक प्रोसेस किया कि जहां पे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इम्पैनल तो कर देगी, लेकिन इम्पैनलमेंट के बाद भी क्या होगा, इम्पैनलमेंट के बाद भी स्टेट की कंसेंट लेनी पड़ेगी। और दूसरी बात ये कि इम्पैनलमेंट के प्रोसेस में स्टेट क्या कर रही है, स्टेट ये कर रही है कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने मांगा इस ऑफिसर को कि आओ तुम इम्पैनल कर देते हैं, आ जाओ यूनियन में। तो उस टाइम सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट उस आईएएस ऑफिसर को बहुत अच्छा डेप्यूटेशन दे देती है, तो वो आईएएस ऑफिसर जाता ही नहीं है। ये लिखा है ना, इट सर्व्स फेवरेबली एज फॉर द स्टेट, द स्टेट ऑफिसर्स इल्यूडिंग इम्पैनलमेंट, जो मना कर देते कि हमें इम्पैनलमेंट नहीं चाहिए, उन्हें स्टेट गवर्नमेंट दे देती है अच्छी स्ट्रैटेजिक पोस्ट, मिनिमाइजिंग द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ डिसरप्शन इन फंक्शनिंग। कहने का मतलब सेंटर की क्या पावर है, यूनियन गवर्नमेंट की आईएएस के ताल्लुक में पावर है अपॉइंटमेंट, एग्जाम, अपॉइंटमेंट, ट्रेनिंग, एलोकेशन ऑफ कार्डर, और भेजना कहां पे, भेजना कहां पे, भेजना स्टेट में। उसके बाद स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की पावर है कि उसे कौन सा डेजिग्नेशन देना है, क्या रोल देना है, और कहां ट्रांसफर्ड रखना है। इसके बाद जब उनकी सर्विसेज एंड करनी है तो फिर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का से है। दैट इज ऑल वी लर्न। अभी तक जो ये रूल है, एग्जिस्टिंग रूल के हिसाब से सेंटर कैन नॉट फोर्सेबली बोरो अ रिक्रूटेड स्टेट ऑफिसर रिगार्डलेस ऑफ एम्पैनलमेंट। एम्पैनल हो भी जाए तो भी सेंटर अपनी मर्जी से फोर्सफुली जबरदस्ती स्टेट से ऑफिसर को बोरो नहीं कर सकता। नाउ दे से दैट वी वांट टू ब्रिंग एन अमेंडमेंट इन दिस रूल, एंड दे से इसके दो इफेक्ट होंगे। एक तो कंसेंट की, जो स्टेट की कंसेंट लेके बोलते हैं ना हमें ऑफिसर चाहिए, कुल मिला के बात क्या है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को ऑफिसर चाहिए, स्टेट बोलता है कि हम देना नहीं चाहते क्योंकि रूल है हमारी कंसेंट लोगे, तो बोला वो रूल ही खत्म कर दो जहां आपकी कंसेंट मांगनी पड़ती है, हम सीधे के सीधे इस ऑफिसर को उठाते हैं और अपने पास रख लेते हैं। पहली चीज ये अमेंडमेंट प्रपोज्ड है, इससे क्या होगा, स्टेट का से कम होगा। तो जो फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर है, हेल्दी फेडरलिज्म है, उसके ऊपर एक अटैक है। दैट इज हाउ ऑथर सीज इट। Secondly, the union government will have complete discretion to determine the number of such officers it may rest away, ले जा सकते हैं। तो कुल मिला के ये उन्होंने बताया कि इस अमेंडमेंट के दो इफेक्ट होंगे, कितने ऑफिसर्स लेना है वो भी वो डिसाइड करेंगे, और उन्हें स्टेट की कंसेंट भी नहीं चाहिए। नाउ दीज ऑल थिंग्स हैव हैपेंड इन द रीसेंट पास्ट, यू नो। नाउ इसके बाद क्या दिया हुआ है, आर्टिकल 311, और उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि 311 में आईएएस ऑफिसर्स कैन बी रिमूव्ड ओनली बाय सेंटर। दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट। और वो भी रिमूव करने से पहले स्ट्रॉन्ग रीजंस चाहिए। You don't like someone, you can't kick them out. They are officers trained and they are asset to the nations. This cannot be done to them. They are bureaucrats. Second, Article 311 Clause 2 says that states should follow proper inquiry procedure before initiating removal. That means जो removal का process है वो is done by central government, and central government cannot remove a person on whims and fancies. Rather, they have to have a proper inquiry after which they can impose penalties or remove a person. Right? So this is all the passage. Passage समझ में आया? बताओ जल्दी से बता दो अगर पैसेज समझ में आया तो। let's go to the questions. When I talk about questions, questions are easy. एक आईएएस ऑफिसर है और एक स्टेट है उड़ीसा, उनके अगेंस्ट में इंक्वायरी हुई और उसके बाद में ही इज रिमूव फ्रॉम द पोस्ट बाय द उड़ीसा गवर्नमेंट। ठीक है, गुड प्रियशी। एवरीवन हैज टू बी फास्टर, यू नो। इफ समझ में आ रहा है तो वाई लिखा करो, नहीं आ रहा है तो एन लिखा करो, पर लिखा करो। ठीक है, सो लेट्स सी विद द क्वेश्चन नंबर 7. It was a very tricky passage. I understand that. So you need to have that kind of understanding before I go ahead. You have already read it many times in your PDF, so I'm going this way, and otherwise the explanation could have been a bit longer. Now, is his removal valid in the eyes of law? The question is, he is removed by state government. That cannot be done. तो सीधी सीधी बात है, no. Answer is C, Calcutta. Aviral marking B, beta, you are wrong. Absolutely wrong. Why you are wrong? Because state government cannot remove, and here state government has removed. Now, going quickly to the next question. I'll not read out the explanations. In the last of our question, if the government of Odisha had made the request to the central government to remove, pursuant to which state government would have removed it. मतलब जैसा उसमें लिखा था ना, अगर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को रिमूव करना है तो पहले सेंटर से रिक्वेस्ट करे, फिर सेंटर गवर्नमेंट आफ्टर इंक्वायरी उसे रिमूव कर सकता है. इन इस केस में द कैच इज दिस, द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट हैज रिमूव्ड हिम. सो व्हाट वुड बी द आंसर इन ए? अगेन दिस इज रॉन्ग. No, because in the instant case, the decision is not taken by a legally competent authority, and the legally competent authority was central government. Those who think that the report of inquiry not done, procedure is not followed, wrong. All right. Chalo. Let's go to question number 9. The question number 9 goes this way. In May 2022, Vidhan, a highly renowned IAS officer, was accused by a YouTuber. इस पूरे क्वेश्चन की कहानी है कि एक ऑफिसर को एक यूट्यूबर ने अक्यूज किया. एक्विजिशन जो ब्राइबरी के थे बेसलेस थे, और इन बेसलेस एक्विजिशंस पे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने रिमूव कर दिया. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में लिखा है कि एक इंक्वायरी होना चाहिए, एक प्रोसेस होना चाहिए, एंड दे शुड बी रिमूव्ड और हैविंग वैलिड ग्राउंड्स. तो वैलिड ग्राउंड्स इस क्वेश्चन में थे नहीं. सो द क्वेश्चन इज, जो आईएएस थे मिस्टर विधान, he has challenged it before the court. Will he succeed? Answer is yes. Now yes के, I mean I'm not, no Deepti. Now no, because the central government has strong reasons to remove Vidhan. No, they don't have strong reasons. No, because the manner in which was removed was unconstitutional. Seems right to me at this moment. Yes, because no one takes YouTuber seriously is extraneous. No, because the acquisition made by YouTube was serious and the government acts swiftly. Not at all. Not at all. It's ipso facto wrong. So the answer to the question is always B, Bombay. All right. Going ahead. Going ahead with question number 10. Now, the question is, in this case, an IAS officer was being asked and the Madhya Pradesh government has said a no. IAS has been asked and the MP government says no. So if MP government says no, then what's going to happen? Now, if the amendment is passed, अगर amendment हो चुका होगा, तो what would be done? If the amendment is already done, then the answer to this question would be now state का कोई सही नहीं है. लेकिन the question is, if the proposed amendment is brought into force, what would be the following current position? The answer to this कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को अगर अमेंडमेंट नहीं हुआ है तो परमिशन लेनी पड़ेगी, और अगर हो गया है तो कोई परमिशन नहीं लेनी पड़ेगी. ऑलराइट, चलो, I think we should go ahead. The answer to this question is C, Calcutta, without doubts. Wonderful going. C, Calcutta being answered. Let's go to question number 11. Which of the following can be inferred from the above mentioned passage? What is the inference that can be drawn? Now, centripetal federalism. Now, whether you know or you don't know the meaning of the term, the passage clarifies this only with reference to the appointment of the officers. So that is fine. Government, DOPT is an institution which comes for under central government. Indeed, it can be inferred. Power to remove civil servants is prescribed under Constitution. Yes. So with this point clear, answer to this question would be D, Delhi. All right. 11 is D, Delhi. Going to question number 12 in a quick go. Which of the following cannot be assumed from the above mentioned passage? What would be a wrong assumption to draw? Come quickly. Now please understand, a handicap refers to a problem which makes progress. This can be assumed. IS officer are officially appointed. This can be assumed. The central government does not want to. Array, the entire story is they do want. So this is wrong assumption. 12C is a wrong assumption. Cannot be assumed. C is the answer. All right. All right. Wonderful. 12 being done. तीसरे पे चले. Now we come to a passage from Constitution, and Constitution ka Article 20 Clause 3. I've time and again been saying that every CLAT aspirant should be very well versed with Article 20 Clause 1, that is protection against ex post facto law. You should be well versed with Article 20 Clause 2, that is protection against double jeopardy, and third one is Article 20 Clause 3, that is protection against self-incrimination. Now, under protection against self-incrimination, the crux of this passage, if I tell you, it says that no person accused of an offense shall be compelled. Word is compelled to be a witness against himself. That means self-incriminating statements cannot be given by an accused out of compulsion. If he gives out of his free will, it's good. But if a person is compelled that you become a witness against yourself and give a testimony against yourself, so the person is protected, and this cannot be done. Now, in this case, the passage clarifies that there are certain things, and I'll find it out here exactly, that for collection of evidence, handwriting sample, thumb impression, blood sample, and any biological evidence, in the passage that was asked smartly as DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, to ascertain parentage, to ascertain who's the legitimate father of a child or a mother of a child, this test is done, which is one use of it, and there are many other usage in evidence about DNA. So the question is, will collection of DNA, collection of blood sample, or handwriting or thumb sample be attracted by Article 20 Clause 3? The answer is no. That is all what is given in the passage. Now, if we have sound understanding about this passage, I call it easy. So I think it's good time to go ahead and see with this. And if you indeed liked the first two passages, just press that like button. The first two passages were churners, brain churners, and like it if you understood the analysis. Otherwise, it's pointless saying कि passage तो अच्छा था, समझ कुछ नहीं आया. पैसेज अच्छा था, पढ़ने के बाद अब समझ भी आना चाहिए, और ऐसे पैसेजेस आए तो आगे सॉल्व भी हो जाना चाहिए. So with that point settled, after explaining you the meaning of passage 3, I think it's good time to go into the questions as well. Now, going to the question, Mr. Vidhan committed a murder and he himself went to the police station to confess crime. Now, himself went to the police station. Now, a person is not compelled. Is Vidhan protected? Answer is going to be no. Is Vidhan protected? Answer is no. Why? Confession was made without any inducement. 13 ka answer is Bombay. It's a cakewalk. All right. First people answering is Priyashi, Abhishek, Aviral, Jayesh, and Deepika. All of them are right. Going to the next question. Simple tha ye wala. Going to the next one. Vidhan was charged of kidnapping a girl. A minor girl is not required. If it is kidnapping, it ought to be a minor girl. So, no brainers. Parent demanded ransom for the release of girl. When he was caught by the police, brought to the trial, the prosecution demanded to match his handwriting. We already done. It's collection of biological evidence. So he's saying it is against this. Answer is no, it's not against this. So yes, claim protection. Will he get answers? Definitely not. So B and C. This is extraneous. ये आपका पढ़ा हुआ है, so I'm not going that deep. This is extraneous, and this is the right reason. They're excluded from the category of incriminating evidences. Passage में दिया हुआ है हमें. Go to question number 15. In the above question, the blood was found on the cloth of the girl who was kidnapped. Vidhan was caught by the police and asked blood sample to match with the blood on cloth. He denied. Can police... Now the question is not about the blood sample. Can police force, is the word used, Vidhan to appear for a narco analysis test? Can he be forced to appear for a narco analysis test? If that is the case, the answer is no. This passage says, centrally it says, a person cannot be forced, right, to appear for a narco analysis test. Right? The answer to this question is B, Bombay, without an iota of doubt. Going question of, oh, no, Shivika. It's Shivika and Kritika and Abhishek. That's not going. A is not the answer. यहाँ yes लिखा है. Can police force? Yes लिखा है तो फिर गलत हो गया. No is the reason out. So Deepika and team, Shivika and Kritika, they all have lost with Abhishek for not reading the difference between yes and no. ठीक है, यहाँ yes लिखा था. चलो. Go to question number 16. Vidhan's neighbor leveled a frivolous complaint. Police registering FIR, conducting. Now, please understand, the passage says that this protection is available to the accused. Accused means जिस person के against में trial चल रहा हो. And अभी क्या है? ये FIR और passage में लिखा है FIR के बाद भी ये protection मिल सकती है. Before registering the FIR, तो before registering FIR तो right of protection against self incrimination होता ही नहीं है. Is Mr. Vidit? No. Why? Because it is premature. Why? Because not even FIR is filed. FIR not filed. Question number 16. Answer is B, Bombay. Jayesh, you go wrong. Siddhant Soni says that it can be considered as biological sample. It can be considered, you say, but we need to understand that they have explicitly said that narco analysis test cannot be done. That is not possible. So this is why explicit bar hai passage mein about narco analysis test. All right. Going on to question number 17. Question number 17. Which of the following cases will be protected against 20 clause 3? फटाफट बता दो उसका आंसर. If you go quicker, we go better. पुलिस ने उसको बोला कि उसका सेंटेंस कम हो जाएगा तो इट इज नॉट आउट ऑफ फ्री विल. तो ये तो प्रोटेक्टेड है. यहां पे आर्टिकल 20 क्लॉज 3 अप्लाई होगा. ठीक है. Vidhan confesses a murder but again denies to the court. Thus, policeman forced him to produce his DNA, ascertaining truth. Now, for this, we need to understand he can be forced to produce his DNA. Why? Because DNA बायोलॉजिकल एविडेंस और ये स्टेज है एविडेंस कलेक्शन की. ठीक है. So when you look at this question, Vidhan confesses the murder but later denies in the court. Thus, police force him to produce. Can they do it? Yes, they can do it. Is he protected under 20 clause 3? Answer is no. Not protected. So the answer to this question is going to be A, Agra only. So people understanding A, Agra, you are absolutely right. Rest are not right. 17 का A है. Most of you marked A, so it's going good. चलो सिद्धांत सोनी got it. तो फिर मजा आ गया. चलो. Now let's come to passage 4. Now passage 4 is a Allahabad High Court judgment and the issue in question is the azan. Azan on loudspeaker. In this case, the High Court has held that the azan can be recited by the muezzin without using amplifying devices. मतलब उनका कहना है कि every person is having, ये इस passage का भी centrally I'll tell you what is it. The passage says that under Article 25 of the Constitution, every person is having a right. किस बात का right? To practice, profess and propagate the religion of choice. Then the author explains, and you should know it beforehand, that this freedom of religion under Article 25 is not absolute. Is not absolute. It is subject to what? It is subject to reasonable restriction. What are the reasonable restriction? Number one, public order, morality and health. That means what? किसी की भी फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन को कर्टेल किया जा सकता है. आर्टिकल 25 में जो फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन मिली है, क्या है वो? कि आप अपना रिलीजन प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं, प्रोफेस कर सकते हैं, प्रोपोगेट कर सकते हैं, पर ये फ्रीडम एब्सोल्यूट नहीं है. ये फ्रीडम इज subject to reasonable restrictions. And when I talk about reasonable restrictions, what are they? Reasonable restrictions है कि state अगर चाहे तो इस freedom को on the grounds of public order, on the grounds of morality and on the grounds of health कर्ब कर सकती है. अभी क्वेश्चन ये आया इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट के सामने कि अजान को लाउड स्पीकर पे बोलना एक रिलीजन का पार्ट है. इट इज अ वे ऑफ प्रैक्टिसिंग प्रोफेसिंग आवर ओन रिलीजन. तो अगर अजान को लाउड स्पीकर पे बंद करवाएंगे तो दैट इज वायलेशन ऑफ फंडामेंटल राइट अंडर आर्टिकल 25. इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट सेज दैट अजान इज एन इंटीग्रल पार्ट. तो वो तो कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उसको लाउड स्पीकर पे करना गलत है. और वो जो दूसरे लॉज हैं, नॉइज पोल्यूशन एक्सेट्रा के लॉज, उनके लिए कॉन्ट्रवीनिंग है. इसीलिए एवरी पर्सन इज हैविंग अ राइट टू प्रैक्टिस रिलीजन एंड दिस इज नॉट एन एसेंशियल प्रैक्टिस इन रिलीजन. अजान इज, बट दैट हैविंग दैट ऑन लाउड स्पीकर इज नोवेयर रिक्वायर्ड. तो बोला जो लाउड स्पीकर पे अजान होती है वो लाउड स्पीकर के बिना भी हो सकती है, और लाउड स्पीकर पे अगर होती है तो वो जो दूसरे लीगल प्रोविजंस हैं, नॉइज पोल्यूशन एक्ट वगैरह वगैरह, वो सब अप्लाई होंगे और कोई प्रोटेक्शन नहीं मिलेगी. सो दैट वाज द आइडिया ऑफ पैसेज 4. आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड. समझ में आया नहीं आया? काम की चीजें मैंने आपको बताई दी है. आर्टिकल 25 की बात हुई, रीजनेबल रिस्ट्रिक्शन की बात हुई, ये वाली बात थी, और उन्होंने बोला नॉइज पोल्यूशन और रूल्स ये सब अप्लाई हो जाएंगे. बोला एम्पलीफाइंग डिवाइस यूज करना है तो that cannot be done. And then they have said essential religious practice. हमने लास्ट वाला जो डिस्कशन किया था 2262 का, उसमें हमने बात की थी शिरूर मठ केस की और हिजाब की. सो वी अंडरस्टैंड दिस वेल. फिर उन्होंने बताया कि नॉइज पॉल्यूशन के कौन से रूल्स वगैरह वगैरह. अगर इफ यू हैव अंडरस्टूड इट इन टोटलिटी, आई थिंक इट्स गुड टाइम टू गो अहेड. आगे चलते हैं. कैन वी गो विद द क्वेश्चंस? ऑलराइट, let's go to question number 18. Now, when I talk about question number 18, due to continuing COVID lockdown, was prevented this Kanya Bhoj during Navratri. Now, please understand इस क्वेश्चन को पूरा आंसर करने के लिए क्या रिक्वायर्ड है. सब्जेक्ट टू, यहां ये वर्ड हमेशा याद रखना, पब्लिक ऑर्डर, मोरालिटी और हेल्थ. मतलब आपका फंडामेंटल राइट है प्रैक्टिस प्रोफेशन प्रोपोगेट करने का, बट इट इज सब्जेक्ट टू हेल्थ, पब्लिक ऑर्डर और मोरालिटी. इस केस में हेल्थ इज एट क्वेश्चन. तो क्वेश्चन ये है कि क्या ऐसा नवरात्र का भोज वगैरह हो सकता है क्या? आंसर है नहीं हो सकता. आपका राइट है, पर आपका राइट है सब्जेक्ट टू रीजनेबल रेस्ट्रिक्शन. कोविड में हेल्थ इज अ रीजनेबल रेस्ट्रिक्शन. 18 का डी इज एब्सोल्युटली राइट. लेट्स गो टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 19. दिस मैन वांट्स टू डू दिस माता का जगराता एट हिज होम. He called up for 14 loudspeakers. एंड जब नेबर्स ने मना किया तो उसने बोला, नेबर्स को बोला तुम एंटी रिलीजियस हो. अब इसमें से कौन सा मोस्ट इफेक्टिव, दिस अ वेरी गुड वे ऑफ ड्राफ्टिंग क्वेश्चन. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज द मोस्ट इफेक्टिव काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट? काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट टू विधान केस मींस अगेंस्ट विधान केस. विधान के केस में अगेंस्ट, सीधी सीधी बात है, loudspeakers and roadblocks are not considered important religious practices. तो आर्टिकल 25 में ये है ही नहीं. ऑलराइट, ए आगरा sounds a better reasoning. ए आगरा. Effective counter argument. Effective counter argument is A. All right. 20th. In this case, there is a community talking about purifying child soul by tossing infants into this public order, morality, health. So subject to public order, morality and health. All right. What should be the answer to this question? 20th. Be quicker, we go better. All well. So looking at 20, this is extraneous. So all those who are marking D, answer is C Calcutta without an iota of doubt. All right. Alok, look at this one. Why not? Mehak, galat hai. Going to the third one, 21st question, fourth one rather. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, increase in number of cases has made it mandatory cremation. Now, one Parsi community says what? Okay, we want to have the person cremated at the Tower of Silence. Which of them is the most effective argument against the body disposal via this? Now, when we see 21, C Calcutta is the answer. A, wrong. B, absolute reason. We need to understand the reasoning well. Going ahead, all right. For Muslims, Ramadan is a holy month. He is Abdul is a person who's working for a cab called Hola, and it's a private cab service. It prohibited all drivers from keeping any kind of fasting during vacation week, resulting in inefficiency in the terms of taking more rides during peak hours. Abdul brought a writ petition against Hola. Now it said that writ petition is maintainable against state. Hola is a private body, or private body के against में writ is not maintainable. So in this case, question number 22, this freedom of religion cannot be claimed against Hola. Answer is A. Most of you marking A makes sense. हमेशा याद रखना, fundamental rights are enforceable against state, and the definition of state is provided under Article 12. Going to the next passage. The next passage is about IPR, and this is about IPR में trademark, and this is about suit of infringement. See, before going into this passage, I'll just explain you a crux about it, and then we'll go ahead. When you talk about intellectual property rights, there's something called trademark. What's the purpose of trademark? The purpose of trademark is to avoid consumer confusion as to the origin of goods. And number two, it allows the producer of a good or service to leverage on his brand. So that these are the twofold purposes of law of trademark. Now, the question here is, a person is the owner of a registered mark. A person owns a mark, he has got that registered with the registrar of trademark, and that trademark is registered in his name and in a particular category. Say a person has got a trademark registered in educational services, in health services, and now any person in educational service or health service uses the same name. So this is clear-cut violation of his right, and in such case the person who is the owner of mark, under whose name the mark is being registered, has a right to bring the suit of infringement against whom? Against the person who is using such mark in an unauthorized way. So to read it faster, this was the crux of the law at hand. Now here they say infringement occurs when one party uses trademark which is identical or deceptively similar to a trademark of another party in similar products or services which registration covers. बेसिकली अलग अलग क्लासेस में ट्रेडमार्क का रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है, तो आपने अगर एक एजुकेशनल सर्विसेज में रजिस्ट्रेशन कराया तो एजुकेशनल सर्विसेज में आपके अलावा कोई स्मोक उसको यूज नहीं कर सकता. ऑलराइट, ऑल वेल. So Looking into these questions of trademark, we get under the existing law, when an unauthorized person uses trademark that is identical or deceptively similar to the registered trademark, it is known as infringement. Where the competitors have tried to dupe customers using similar logo, disputes have been turned up in this area of law as well. Important thing here was unregistered trademark ho, one cannot sue for infringement but bring remedies under this. मतलब अगर रजिस्टर्ड ट्रेडमार्क होगा तो पर्सन के पास रेमेडी होगी सूट ऑफ इन्फ्रिंजमेंट, और अगर अनरजिस्टर्ड ट्रेडमार्क होगा तो लोगों के पास पर्सन के पास रेमेडी होगी पासिंग ऑफ, जो हमने लास्ट मॉक डिस्कशन में देखा था. लेट्स कम टू द क्वेश्चंस. विधान इज सीईओ ऑफ कीटॉल. There's another person having Ketol. The question is, will this be enough to bring suit for infringement? Answer is, he is the owner. The answer stands very clear that the person is the owner. Registered trademark. Registered trademark है तो infringement होगा. And when we talk about infringement in this case, option C, option D seems right. No. D is the right answer. 23 is D Delhi. It was simple answer. Going ahead. 24. इंडिया का एक सर्च इंजन है Uaho, and this search engine is इंडिया में एक सर्च इंजन यूज होता है. दिस इज बेसिकली यूएस कंपनी हैविंग ए सब्सिडरी इन इंडिया. उनका रजिस्टर्ड ट्रेडमार्क .in. एक और वेबसाइट रजिस्टर हुई, लेकिन ये गेमिंग प्लेटफॉर्म है. अब सूट ऑफ, अब ये हमने पहले से पढ़ रखा है. अगर हम बात करें इस केस में आहो .in, ये ट्रेडमार्क है, पर दिस इज विद रेफरेंस टू सर्च इंजन. और दूसरा पर्सन जो कर रहा है दैट इज विद रेफरेंस टू गेमिंग इंडस्ट्री. दे आर टू डिफरेंट बॉल गेम्स. अब गेमिंग इंडस्ट्री में तो प्रोटेक्शन होगी ही नहीं. So when they are two different ball games, तो यहाँ infringement तो नहीं हो सकता. In this case, infringement is not possible. Markets are different. Answer of 24 is A, Agra. A, Agra being the right answer. Clear है? Reasoning समझ में आ रही है? अगर मान लेते हैं एक और सर्च इंजन कंपनी होती तो उसे इन्फ्रिंजमेंट बोलते हैं, अगर दोनों ही सर्च इंजन वाली कंपनीज होती. ऑलराइट. I find many people being at home, and at this given point in time, it's required to put in a lot of serious efforts, but they're taking it lightly. So this time is important. Value this time. Else you'll have a lot of scope for regrets, remorse. All right. Going ahead. Question number 25. There's another company, Gilton, and this company called Hilton. Now Hilton comes up with a series called Game Changer, and Gilton also comes with a series of Game Changer. The question is about trademark infringement, but nowhere it is written that when you talk about Gilton and when you talk about Hilton, they're two different marks, and there is no question about these two different marks. The question is only about Game Changer. Now the word Game Changer is it's not registered or registered. Who owns this? This cannot be ascertained in this case. So here we can say can't be ascertained for the facts being insufficient. Infringement के लिए सबसे important चीज है उसका ट्रेडमार्क कौन ओन करता है, और ट्रेडमार्क गेम चेंजर गिल्टन ओन करता है या हिल्टन ओन करता है, we don't know, and since we don't know we cannot ascertain, which is why the best answer to this question would be C, Calcutta. Most of you marking C, Calcutta. That's decently well. Going to question number 26. Vidhan wants to launch a new mobile company. He considers again a same name, and then there's another company, FIO Connections. And what are they going to do? There's now two companies, Dirjan and FIO. And when they talk about FIO, they both are using similar logo. Now in question number 26, they both are using similar logo. The logo is an integral part of the identity customer recognizes, hence is the case of infringement. No. The trademark of the company was the name, not its logo, and hence it cannot be infringement. this could be an instance where an unregistered mark has been tampered with, necessitating the use of alternative remedies. यही वहां पे लिखा हुआ है हमारे पैसेज में. Where is it given? I'll just show you. However, when an unregistered trademark cannot sue for a certain, but certain remedies might be available. So here is where we infer that अगर registration हुआ भी नहीं है, so in that particular case, one who is the prior user और ये कहानी हो जाएगी. Answer would be C, Calcutta. 26 people marking A are wrong. C is the answer. It was a tricky question. Going with question number 27. Market is of toothpaste. There are two companies, Colgate and Capsopaste. They are competing brands. They are having counter products to stay ahead of each other. To increase sales, it has introduced a new product in the packaging. Color, theme, name, looks, feels, even the functions are closely similar. Decide. In this case, even they have said color, theme, and name are similar. So we find there's a deceptive similarity. B, Bombay is the safest answer in this case. Depending on registration, there can be a case of infringement or otherwise. 27B, Bombay, people marking are good. Going ahead. Passage number 6. For the sake of convenience, what I'm not doing, मैं आपको ये सारी वो केस एक जजमेंट का एनालिसिस है. उस जजमेंट में लिखा हुआ है ये ऐसे सिचुएशंस होंगे जहां पर अगर किसी की एफआईआर को क्वॉश कर दिया जाए तो ऐसा क्वॉश करना ठीक होगा. मतलब अगर किसी के अगेंस्ट में एक झूठी एफआईआर है, किसी के अगेंस्ट में एफआईआर है जहां पे कोई केस नहीं बनता है, तो ऐसी ये 7 इंस्टेंसेस हैं जिन्हें कोर्ट कंसिडर करते हुए किसी की एफआईआर को क्वॉश कर सकता है. Having that point, this is a part of a judgment, an excerpt from judgment. Let's see, it's a easy questions. Now they are easy questions. Now in this question number 28 onwards, well-known actor, vagera vagera. Now Vidit is a tremendous fan. Now this actor has died, and a fan of that actor outraged and filed FIR against a Bollywood producer who though has never met Vidhan, वो मिला ही नहीं कभी विधान से, but in Vidit's opinion propagates nepotism in industry which killed Vidhan. Now the question is, in this case, there's no case made out. So if there's FIR, such FIR should be quashed. Malicious intent and the offense made out is not made out of the allegations leveled. A, Agra is the right answer without an iota of doubt. People marking A. Great going guns. Good. Question number 29. In World Cup semi-final, India faces a match against Bangladesh. The team is losing. And what a person has done, filed an FIR against Bangladeshi player that they abused and humiliated her and the other Indian ladies. Now this FIR is frivolous, and since it's frivolous and baseless, answer would be C, Calcutta. Going to 30. Filed a case against Australian pacer Gretley for injuring 2 Indian players. Is the FIR reversible? FIR reversible मतलब क्या ये FIR quash हो सकती है, और पूरी quashing of FIR पे ही ये passage था. So the answer is, we have to understand question number 30. Yes, it was important setup. No. Yes, the complaint isn't considered a crime. It is lacking criminality per se and shall not be taken cognizance of. Bombay of 30 is the right answer. Going to question number 31. Vakish Kumar is hosting a popular television show of HDTV prime time, and he is questioning the hardship faced by the cleaners of Assi Ghat in Varanasi. The Prime Minister, who's also the sitting MP of that city, he's being questioned. Now, a lady happens to be a great fan of the Prime Minister, and she filed an FIR against Vakish Kumar for slandering the country's Prime Minister. What is going to happen? Now, in this case, we can clearly make out it is for sole purpose of vengeance. It has no base whatsoever. Answers A, Agra. Good time to go ahead. Everyone is marking right. So we'll not go deeper into this. Now, this is seventh passage. This is basically about law of sedition. That it was the time when farm law were being introduced. This lady was accused for creating a toolkit to create problems in the country, and it was said that she is sponsored by people, those who are terrorists, etc., etc. So the story of Disha Ravi is known to all. That has caused a great unrest in the country. Now, to see this, the basis of this passage, they are saying if it is a case of sedition, then दीप्ति, we are now on question number 28C. क्यों नहीं बोल रहे हैं? दीप्ति, एक तो क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया करिए आप, 5 मिनट बाद आपका बल्ब जलता है, दैट इज लेट. इज इट पॉसिबल दैट विद इट्स एफआईआर बी क्वॉश्ड? Malicious intent है उसका, and offense is not made out. The complaint is baseless. Now more than complaint baseless, आप वहां पे पहला वाला पार्ट पढ़ो अपने पैसेज में. The first point written, where the allegations in FIR are taken on the face value, accepted in entirety, no prima facie, do not prima facie constitute any offense or make out a case against the accused. So it is falling under this worst part. So Deepthi Lunkad, the answer of question number 28 is going to be A, not C. Alright. समझ में आया तो फटाफट Y लिख दो और फिर आगे चलते हैं. Again, I'm sorry, I was on sedition. I just thought why a question should not be answered, so I was telling this. Now, this Hindustan Times article is talking about sedition, saying how state is abusing machinery, and is talking about the legal protections available. Quickly seeing it. The government must confirm adequate standards to uphold the rule of law, role of judiciary. Courts must treat the case involving personal liberty with much more rigor, and rather than casually send people to jail. And finally, dissent is indeed a right. Taking up positions, even if logically inconsistent, is also a right. But often, activists end up getting used in larger political games. So this is all the passage. This is all what the passage is all about. Now, reading these questions, the art was questions are simple, but a huge passage kind of question seems like. So it's time consuming, which is why I say these 40 questions, they would have taken time. It was taking toll on the time. So you look at these questions, the idea is very clear. In this entire story, look at this. Now in such case, they have a strong evidence, and they have strong evidence. The court is right in denying the bail. B. Bombay stands the answer. Almost all have marked B. Bombay going right. So great going Vidhi, Divyanshi, Abhishek, Asmi, Priyashi, Rishika, and Jayesh. Going to 33. Now when you go to question number 33, now question number 33 basically we see she is giving examples. Now what her examples are all about, in this case she is not inciting people. कहीं पे भी incitement नहीं है, inciting per people नहीं है. So this does not attract liability, which is why question number 33 cannot arrest means B or D. B. Bombay seems a right answer. D की जो reasoning है that is extraneous to this passage. Question number 34. Renowned journalist, anti-government. She was found dead. Many alleged the act of government called them murderers. Soon the situation was taken under control. No investigation was done. Now this is where in the last few lines of the passage was said that people having dissent, they have a right to have dissent, and state should be having neutrality towards them, which is why the only inference that can be drawn from the passage is option C. C. Calcutta is right. Going to 35. Vidhan and Shayant. When I talk about this particular question, now it seems like he was in custody for 90 days. He approached court for the bail, stated that autopsy report confirming the time of murder, his phone recording, CCTV of victim's house building was in his favor. In absence of any valid evidence, he claims his detention for a long period is illegal. In such case, court can hold police liable for the detention and should grant him bail. A. Agra is the answer. That's what passage read like. Great going. Now, passage number 8 is about child grooming and the law called POCSO Act. Okay? So when we talk about POCSO, so we get to understand that the definition of grooming, section 67, I mean the things which are marked red, you can anytime come down to these relevant part of the passages and you will be able to do questions well. So I think we should straight away move to the questions. Now, question number 36. This is basically this. You can read this and everything that is marked in red should have been read well. And then, you know, the questions were cakewalk, though they were seemingly lengthy, but they were doable. So in this, I'll suggest you some insights towards the end. Vidhi was a 12-year-old schoolgirl. नो फ्रेंड वगैरह वगैरह. इस पूरी कहानी में हमारे लिए क्वेश्चन ये है 36. क्वेश्चन नंबर 36. यहां पे आप ये वाला पार्ट याद रखिएगा, ऑनलाइन. तो अगर this part is seen, then the case is explicitly made out. The answer to this question is going to be B, Bombay. Clear hai? I've shown you how come this was inferred. Next, what in the last mention the picture was not posted by Vidhan but got information from वगैरह वगैरह सारी बातें लिखी हुई हैं. $67 भी अप्लाई होगा, ये भी अप्लाई होगा. The simple fact-based question. How do you get this one? So question number 37, answers B, 1 and 3. 2 and 3. The picture was answer would be 2 and 3. And it's given here. Let's see. Because 67BC is only dealing with this. Here we have one thing and here we have another. So reading this and this together, the answer should be, in this particular case, 2 and 3. Here this is not made out. This is made out and this is made out. So it's 1 and 3. The answer to question number 37 should be B, Bombay. There's a reasoning written. You can pause this and read later. Now, Vidhi, age was an important factor in this case. And this is a gender neutral. When you talk about age in this case, so age should be a child, which is by C, Calcutta is the answer. Going next, which of the following is, according to the information given in the passage, does not constitute sexual harassment upon a child? When we see question number 39, 12 years, child, 14 years, child, 21 years, no child. C, Calcutta is the answer. 39 is C again. Going to 40. Which of the following options cannot be concluded according to the information given in the passage? Grooming is not in the POSCO, it is under IT Act. A is the answer. So to everybody at home, I think you had a great time understanding this well. And now to tell you, I know CLAT is not going to be that harsh. This test was on a very different difficulty level, and when you're doing it, so keeping it at this given point in time, passage 1 to passage 8 in mind. Quickly, 2-3 things let us understand that in these passages, pre-known was less, unknown was more, and I again repeat that such a kind of score, if somebody is getting, this score is a decent kind of a score. So not every test is high scoring, and I think with this we come to an end. And if you have been enjoying all these passages, just like it and let's move on. I wish at home you work hard and achieve heights. That's all from my end. Good night, take care, stay blessed, stay happy, and yes, stay logical with Vidhigya, your best pal in CLAT preps. याद रखना जीतना तो हमें ही है. All the best.